Hey everyone, it's Allison, the Holistic Homesteader. I am here today with a video all about homesteading books you should have. So Christmas is right around the corner, and quite literally, I know that some people like myself and my mom, we are already done Christmas shopping. I try to really have most of my Christmas gifts bought by Halloween. I was able to achieve that this year. I'm super excited about that. What I actually did this year was I bought everything on Amazon, and I bought all of the gifts for my two girls, my two nieces, my two nephews for Christmas. I also bought London's birthday present, which is December 28th. Excuse me. I bought Harper's birthday gift, which is the beginning of March. And then I also bought my two nieces and my one nephew. They all have birthdays all between Christmas time and the beginning of March. It's all of the kids' birthdays except for my one nephew. So I tried to just buy all of the gifts for everything. I think I might have even gotten an Easter gift for the kids too. So I bought it all, and I just put it, I just paid for it all at once, and I just set it and forget it, because now the rest of the year, all of the prices on everything keep going up, and I have everything up in my attic on the cold side, so I don't have to worry about buying any of these gifts. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about some homesteading type books that I absolutely love, and whether you are living in a big city somewhere and you have an apartment and there's not really a whole lot of greenery around you, so you can't really consider yourself a homesteader, or maybe you're like us and you live out in the complete middle of nowhere, I think that having these books on a bookshelf somewhere that you can reference is very important. I feel like a lot of the skills that we have here on our homestead are kind of lost on the majority of society. And I think it's important to remember what our ancestors were doing before we had all of these machines to do everything for us. So I want to tell you guys about several books that I really recommend. I'm going to link everything below. Everything can pretty much be found on Amazon. And yeah, I'm just going to jump right in it. All right, so the first book, you guys have seen me talk about this book a lot before whenever I was talking about the beneficial herbs and stuff. I absolutely love this book. It's called The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies, and it says the healing power of plant medicine. Now, this is why I say it doesn't matter if you live in a high rise in the heart of Atlanta or if you live in the middle of nowhere like we do. Having this information at hand is gonna be beneficial to every single person. Knowing how to kind of look at what symptoms you have and then figure out what kind of herb might be able to help that without having to go and get some type of pill to try to treat it is, I think, a really important skill to know. So for example, here is information about mugwort, tells you the scientific names, identification, then it tells you what it can help with. And usually at the very end, it talks about how to harvest it and gives you warnings. So that's pretty much how every single herb or plant is set up in here. It has beautiful, colorful pictures. And I just really highly recommend this book no matter where you're at. Sticking with that herbal medicine kind of theme, I'm going to talk about Rosemary Gladstar. I don't think you can really go wrong with any of her books. She is a world famous herbalist at this point. This one's called Medicinal Herbs, A Beginner's Guide. And this is what I started with originally. This is one of the earliest books that got me interested in herbs and learning about herbs, learning about what they can do for the body. Again, it has absolutely beautiful images inside this book so you can properly identify. That's the whole point, I think, in this book too, of having those images in color, is so that you can identify these plants. If you go out, you know, into the country and you know that, say, stinging nettle grows in an area, well, it's important for you to be able to reference what stinging nettle looks like so you are properly identifying it. A nice thing about this book too is she gives information like safety factors, medicinal uses, but she also gives recipes. So here is a recipe for golden seal salve. It says that this salve has excellent disinfectant properties and is useful for treating skin infections and fungal infections such as athlete's foot. Not only does she tell you about the herb itself, but she also gives a lot of really great recipes throughout. So ginger syrup. I've made quite a few of these recipes myself, and you can see I have pages tagged of where I want to do some of the other recipes. But I found this book very, very helpful. One more book when it comes to like natural remedies and those kinds of things. These last two books were all about herbs, herbal remedies. Now, this book is monstrous. And it is thick, and it is packed full of natural healing wisdom and know-how. This is the type of book that it's kind of like a coffee table book. There's no way you're going to chew through all of this all the time. For me, I'm a reader, I'm an English major, it's just not feasible. But this is a great reference book that is so over-compassing. It's such an umbrella. I'll just read down through what's in this book. It talks about herbs, homeopathic medicine, meditation, aromatherapy, stress reduction, acupressure, Chinese medicine, yoga, massage, raw foods, reflexology, chakra healing, fasting, juicing, color zone therapy, gemstones and crystals. It really gets into the huge umbrella of natural healing. And if you are somebody who has never really given natural healing a chance, a book like this is super helpful. This book, if you were to just start at the very beginning, it's going to walk you through an introduction to the naturopathic type of healing, natural home remedy type healing methods. And it's going to talk about why natural healing looks at the whole person instead of just the condition, and how all of these different modalities in connection with your emotions, your physical body, your nutrition, your water consumption, your living environment, it looks at all of those kinds of things as a whole. It looks at you as a whole person. I think that it is great to have as a supplemental resource and to give you ideas of how else you can heal your being. So this is a great book. It says there are almost 7,500 charts, lists, tips, instructions, diagrams, and illustrations. And I have no doubt that there are that many. This book is so huge, just for comparison. But this isn't the only one of these that they make. They actually make several of these types of books, these wisdom and know-how. So I'll talk about this one next because it ties into the herbs. They have this one, Garden Wisdom and Know-How. And it's from the editors of Rodell Gardening Books. This is everything you need to know about planting, growing, and harvesting from your own garden. And it talks about things like getting to know your soil, gardening and landscaping design, perennial gardens, how to attract butterflies and moths, starting seeds, rotating crops, watering wisely, caring for animals, the art of composting, cooking with herbs. It's everything that you could possibly need to know about gardening itself. Again, it's a great reference for somebody who is Honestly, it's a great reference for everybody. I know quite a lot about gardening. I've been gardening for over 7 years now. But even as a great gardener, I have a huge green thumb. I'm always willing to learn more. There always is more to learn. Every subject on this homestead, there's always another way. There's another method. There's a better way. Sometimes there's a worse way. It's always a learning opportunity. So yeah, this book is just a great gardening reference, talking about cold frames, talking about irrigation. I love that these types of books, you can kind of just pick it up, flip to a random page inside of there, and you're going to learn something that you didn't know. And when it comes to knowing how to grow our own food, I think that's super important. All right, so I only have 2 books to go. This next book is the third of these series. This is the Country Wisdom and Know-How. And so we've talked all about the natural healing. We've talked about the garden. Now the country wisdom is going to be all of the rest of the everything. It talks everything from how to bake bread to how to homebrew, how to raise livestock, how to raise chickens, how to make a chicken coop, how to do maple syrup, how to make a woodshed, how to make fresh sausage, sharpening hand tools. So it talks a lot about the homestead itself, the land and the raising of animals and those kinds of things, buildings. So Country Wisdom and Know-How has a lot of recipes inside. It does talk about some gardening stuff inside of here, but they are absolutely huge books. So on that same kind of brainwave, the last book that I wanted to show you guys is the Encyclopedia of Country Living by Carla Emery. And if you want just one big book and you don't like the idea of these books, these giant books, which by the way, there are even more than these 3. I don't know. I bought these quite a few years ago myself. I don't know how many of these books they are up to nowadays, but they're probably more than just these 3. Now, if you want to just have one book to reference because you don't like the idea of a whole bunch of those other types, this is the book to get. The Encyclopedia of Country Living by Carla Emery, and it kind of encompasses all of the stuff from these 2 books, the Country Wisdom and the Garden Know-How. But one drawback of having a book like this, where it is, you know, all of these topics, is that it doesn't get as in-depth. So you do save on cost because you're buying one book instead of 2 or 3, but you're not getting the depth of information. This might cover a topic like soil and do a nice job of it and give a very introductory type of lesson, but this book, or the garden book, if we're talking soil, might go into much more of a depth. And in all reality, this book might talk about soil similarly to this book, but this book, the Garden Know-How, it might go into even further knowledge even yet. So you kind of have to pick and choose what kind of information you are looking for. Something that I always do myself is I always try to look for the book on like my iBooks app. I have an iPhone. I download a free sample, and then I'm able to skim through like the first 30 pages or whatever of the book. And those first 30 pages, they usually give me a pretty good idea of if the book is worth it or not, if I'm going to kind of share the same energy as the author. If I don't, then I know I don't need to buy it. So I do that, and sometimes even on Amazon, you can get a sample of the book on Amazon. It's usually not as long as on iBooks, but it's a great idea to explore either way. So here's an example of the page. This is talking all about earthworms. It talks about things like finding and buying your own plot of land, building a house or a cabin, creating a vegetable garden, logging your land, building a barn, raising animals, milling your own flour, pickling vegetables, sharpening axes and knives, pruning trees, making hay, stocking a fish pond, delivering a baby. I thought that was amazing. Deliver a baby. Grow your own coffee, learn basic beekeeping, foraging for wild food. So I just love that this is a really, really broad topic book too. And there is a ton of information in this. This is a great gift as well. All right, there we have it. Those are some of my top gift giving book ideas. I am going to be coming out with another video all about homesteading type, sustainable type gift ideas. I know Christmas is coming and sometimes people struggle with like, oh, I don't know what to buy that person. So I'm going to come up with really a handful or so of my favorite homesteader type gifts and of all different budgets. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications of new content, and we will see y'all next time. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Bye.